Hello, Opening Pathways viewers. It's Tom Lenoble, and I am here with another great guest for you today. Brandi Kolosky, who is the GP of Sacral Capital, has joined us today. Brandi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tom, for having me. It's an honor.
Yes, it's great to have you here. And again, thank you. Brandi and I had some technical difficulties earlier, and Brandi was gracious enough to reschedule with me for a little bit later in the day. And we're here now is the exciting part. Brandi, I want to start at the beginning about what you're doing at Sacral Capital and whatever sparked your idea to either start it or get involved with it.
I started Sacral Capital because I've always had a desire of the fire in the belly and the sacral to heal broken systems for humanity in general. And I realized by accidentally raising 50 million for Formula One electric racing that being in venture capital and private equity is where you create abundance that can be placed into the right places and the right hands of the people that are healing or repairing antiquated systems.
Well, Brandy, I'm sure there's a few of us who would love to have that accidental raising of $50 million. In fact, you and I are going to
Yeah.
talk about that later.
Yeah.
I like to do that intentionally, not only accidentally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nothing
tell
is an
me,
accident.
nothing is, and I couldn't agree with you more, including our little thing today.
Yeah.
Nothing is at all. So tell me this, when you were on this path with Sacral, when did you know and say to yourself, this is it? This is the path I am supposed to be on right now?
Yeah. I've always said this is the path I'm supposed to be on. My grandmother put me in meditation school when I was 15 because I was always on stage as a professional dancer and and I was Miss Gainesville and was in films and things of this nature and so through meditation and through learning about mindset and your divine path, even if you choose the wrong path, it's still the right path because it will clear patterns or it will show you areas where you need more wisdom or growth to get to that next path. But for sacral, I was wondering what to call sacral capital because I was going from getting experience as a managing director working at another VC. And then once I completed that pattern cycle, I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I didn't know what I wanted to call the fund or firm, but I wanted to make sure that it sat with me. And I've always followed my gut and I've always followed this path. So sacral is your gut and it's my human design authority as well. So that's where it kind of was born from. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So tell me this, how are you fundamentally different from the person when you started this?
Uh, I have more conviction within myself. Everyone's always like, "How are you doing all this?" Especially the men. They're like, "How did you create this? How did you come up with this thesis and this strategy?" And working also with a woman named Shakti. She is my performance coach and healer. More so, she does like past life stuff, current life, healing and breaking of patterns and so forth. And working with her as well, everything has just been smooth and an alignment. There are good, healthy challenges happening. Although the more I keep doing it and pressing forward, the more that the right people just come into my world. I don't have to chase and be desperate, and that's when you know you're in the right place.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love this. That happened for me when I was doing this book. I had written it a number of years ago, and I was so cathartic. I put it up on a shelf, and then I had this year in practice I've been doing for about 35 years to close out and bring in a new year. And this book came up, and I thought, okay, I'm either going to trash it or run with it. And I made the decision to run with it with conviction. And every possible door that could open beyond any imagination happened. And I love this idea of how when we align ourselves And I think it has a lot to do also. I find a lot of my clients live in the past of being here today, not in what happened to us, as if life has some magical way to do something over, or like our phones where you got to back up 10 seconds when we watch a video. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're sharing with us. Tell me this. I've learned on this podcast, and I know for myself it's true. There was somebody when we were really young that had a big influence on who we are today. Who is that for Brandy?
It's, I would say it is my family. And my grandmother who put me in meditation school, and then my parents who allowed us to be creative in our choices and open-minded, yet they ran the home very organized and I wouldn't say strict, but with, you know, tools that went into the future. So, and then that goes into dance school and all of, you know, that whole entire box there, I would say created the tools of who I am today, and the integrity and ethic, you know, and moral and just showing up every day as the person that I am. Yes.
Yeah, you're naming some things about the next question I want to ask you.
By the way, I do need to read your book. I've been told by several people that it is one of the best books they've read,
Oh, Brandy,
actually.
thank you. You just made my day. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So tell me this, what personal values have guided you from the very beginning, and which one has deepened recently?
I would say showing up with integrity, uh, doing what you say you're going to do is really the forefront, because that also gets reverse engineered to when I'm doing completing due diligence on who I am going to be working with or investing in. Because around 90 days, and this is in personal life too, around 90 days, you know if you're going to marry someone or not. They'll definitely show their flags if in that time frame.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's
So
true.
integrity all the way.
Yeah, I probably should have talked to you before I went down that path, because somebody said to me one day, after my divorce, said, "Didn't you see the red flags?" And I said, "I thought I was going to a carnival." Um,
That line too. I thought I was at a circus.
I
Yeah,
was going to a carnival. Yeah, right.
yeah.
So
You know,
tell
but
me, yeah,
it and that's okay, because again, that path, you learned more about yourself,
so
and
much,
the beauty.
so much that could not be truer. Tell me this. Where has life asked you to slow down recently, and what did you hear?
Great question. Uh, Being in the business world, it's very male dominated, and so women, we learn uh, by just being around it that the masculine starts leading. And this is a funny little joke. Sperm doesn't wait. Sperm chases, eggs wait. And so women have to remember to be sit, because our feminine energy will attract, and we don't need to be hunting as much as men do. And I believe that, you know, we need both sides, and a feminine masculinity, and we do have masculinity within us, but that has been the loudest voice. And once I started healing the masculinity, trust with men, trust with money, trust with men and money, I've noticed that it's just been really breezy.
What an interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing with that. Tell me this. I want to know about a risky decision that you made that paid off, and what gave you the courage to act on it.
I So paid off meaning financially or wisdom?
Up to you.
Okay. So to me, the choices, like I shared with you before, that path, any of those paths, they may have not led to the dollars being there, because I got effed over on the deal. Uh, in one deal, it was 1.25 million, and I only got 16,000 because they dissolved the company behind my back. So I would, you know, but the wisdom of creating that company. I was the one that invented the idea to bypass flare on oil fields to power data centers and crypto mining. And I had brought it to my first $50 million investor because he was in oil and gas. And so I learned so much and I helped reduce emissions on our planet via it. But did I win big financially? No. Did I win big on achieving something for the world? Yes. Right.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
great, great, great story there. Tell
Hmm.
me, I'm interested in how does Brandy know when to pivot or
Yeah.
push through?
I'm known as the pivot queen, actually. So, and then that's a dance word. It's a dance move, pivoting. So, or walking on stage and so forth. So, uh, when do I know when to pivot
Or push through?
or push through? Uh, so I'll apply it again to when I'm working in the due diligence with humans I either I'm going to partner with or invest with, and it's within that 90 days. I'll do a little test of some sort that they aren't aware of, but that is applicable to what we're doing. Like maybe a small transaction, like an introduction to another deal or something, and then I'll know that's when to pivot.
Interesting.
Uh, and then with pushing through, I know when to push through. Like I said, now I'm sitting more in the feminine, but the push through is when I feel that maybe one of my women investor leads that's part of Sacral Sisters. That's my SPV I'm raising with women into the Sacral Fund of Sacral Capital. I'll push through. I'll push with the women to give them that guidance and assurance and trust by educating them. I think that's where I push through
Wow, wow.
on those moments. Yeah.
So, Brandy, tell me this. What did last year strip away that you're really grateful it's gone?
Oh, ungrateful team members.
Mm,
Yeah, you
yeah,
give them a platform to excel and they abuse it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's such a great thing. I have a client that went through, they've got so seasoned and they're the CEO of their business. And as happens to us, sometimes we get attached to an employee, and then that employee turns out not to be such a great employee, maybe a good friend, but there's this line that gets crossed, and how to manage through that can be so
Yeah.
difficult. And but at the same time, you can learn so much from going through that process, right? It'll
Yeah.
never happen that way again, I assure you, for that person. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, the
y- y-
healing, the after hours healing that you provide because I am a healer in myself and I coach, others and advise others and I don't do it as a job though, right? So on the personal side, yes, you connect with them a little more deeply. Um, but they may only know connection as abandonment. So then
yeah.
they go ahead and abandon themselves so they don't have to get experience it from the other side. Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you ever choose alignment over applause?
Probably every day. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I always check in with my body, my sacral, and if it's a yes or a no, right? And I always go for the yes or no, the alignment
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that's why I chose to speak with you before we did the podcast. Unlike maybe some other people that do this with you that just go right into the podcast because I wanted to make sure we were in alignment, not for the
yeah.
applause. I didn't want to just do the podcast just to do the podcast
Yeah,
for the applause.
there's Brandy's sharing lots of wisdom here about how we use what seems cliche to some about the mind-body connection that's so important. But Brandy, you should know, I only do this after that call. I've
Oh,
had, yeah, I've done over 100 episodes, and So far, everybody's enjoyed being on the show, but the only time I did not do this call was the one time I didn't enjoy who was on the show.
Yeah.
And so I made a decision that that day that would never happen again because
Okay, got it.
they were really, really, really not going to do the discovery call. And I kind of let it slip through because it's, we don't want to come into a situation like this and not know a little bit about each other and
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
trade
You're
off
right.
to see if it's a match.
You are the only one out of the podcasts I've been introduced to. You're right that did that. I'm just used to other podcasters. Hey, you want to be on? Come on.
Yeah, I have a friend, I think Charles, you might have known Charles, that
Yes.
Charles just jumps in live with anybody. And I'm always like, no, 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 no. But that's the way Charles lives. So that's Charles' life. So I love it about
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Tell me this, was there a moment that tested your integrity more than your competence?
Yes. This last set of possible partners that we were going to be going in with, and we had already, even though I was doing the quiet behind the scenes due diligence of them, we had already put in such great effort into the bolts and nuts of what we were going to be building. And then they pivoted, but not in the way that we had already verbally agreed upon everything. And it wasn't a pivot for the betterment, it was a pivot for their either secrecies of things they were holding in or something. And but there was something inside and I was like, oh, I just really want this to work. But then I had to go, wait, no, there's a
Hmm.
reason. Yeah. And
Interesting.
then the big reason came out.
Yeah, yeah, as it does, right? As it does, as it does. So, how do you recognize when fear is information and not a stop sign?
Yeah. When there's a lot of energy in my body and I'm like, okay. They say that when people have butterflies or things like this that loves or that think they love somebody, that's really not the healthy version of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? So it's like this, yes.
Yes, I love that. I love that analogy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. In my journey here, I'll call it. I've learned that for me, fear. I think this, by the way, the same about the old imposter syndrome. So many people talks about. I think both are just opportunities for growth
Yeah. Oh yes.
that come packaged in an interesting package.
Yeah. Like when I when I'm fearing something, not that I'm receiving energy that I should be fearful of, right? But I will go and try scary things or adrenaline type things or launching this fund. There was some small fear there, but then I knew that I'm not the type of person that doesn't complete something and that my pivotability will allow me to achieve this goal of the fund, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What impact are you most proud of? Not publicly, not professionally, personally.
Mm. I would say guiding my close friends on become educating them in all areas and seeing them take a leap or another step into something that they've done or they're going to do, and knowing that and sharing with them that all of the information, there's so much wisdom and information out there that you can achieve anything you want to do and not to let the monkey brain get to you
Yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah,
Good old
yeah,
monkey mind. We talk
yeah,
about that at the Academy for Coaching Excellence, that swinging from fear to doubt to worry and that
yeah,
kind of stuff going on.
yeah, yeah.
So, Brandy, how do you define success beyond metrics and milestones? What does
Hmm.
success mean to you, but beyond just the typical stuff we capture?
Right. It's being able to hit every point in your life, your health, your freedom, your uh, people that surround you. Uh, yeah, just being able to know that you've hit all the areas in your life that you feel about. Like, everything feels good. I'm grateful for all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, back to gratitude.
Yes, gratitude.
Yeah, such a great thing, right?
It is.
How do you ensure the soul of what you're building isn't lost in its success?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely those that will be leading with me, right? Not taking capital from any investor. You know, I have definitely made a list of LPs that I do not want to come in or near me, right? So I would say making sure that it's protected in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good.
not all money is good money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That is true. Not all people with money are good people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so true. What boundary has become essential to Brandy's sustainability?
Mm. Oh, it still aligns with integrity, but even in my friend group or people that have come into my life recently, I clean up every 90 days. I'm in the I like to do everything 90 days, but I'll clean house and I'll let them know. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. I like this 90-day cycle that you're on there. Yeah. So tell me this. I can tell by talking to you that you're a leader in many ways, whether it's your company, your friends, or I'm going to guess just people you interact with. How do you balance being that leader with still being a learner?
Mm. I'm constantly learning all the time, reading, listening to podcasts. I have to keep up with information around the world constantly, right? Uh, I love getting certified in different certifications from different universities. Food is medicine, healing with nutrition, fintech, so forth. And then when you're just with those close family members or friends or loved ones, listening is where you're learning.
Yes. The
Yeah.
art of listening. So many people listen and in their head they're thinking about what they're going to respond with, and you're not listening. And what the part that people don't get is the other person knows you're not fully listening. But what I really get concerned about that I share with people is that you don't trust yourself enough to be able to respond. And so I think this art of listening is something we all could think about, and of how we actually do listening.
Yeah.
um, and remember that some people just need a good listening to every now and then.
Yep,
Um,
that the end the response won't be as authentic because it
yes,
will be constructed. Yes.
yes, 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 yes. So, what's the boldest vision of what comes next?
The boldest vision.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
what's coming next?
Uh, I am about to start reaching out to women I don't know directly, but are being introduced to me and referred to come into Sacral Sisters and close that seed round of the fund out to then open up the big round to the fund. And then it's allocating out half of the 110 million. That's the
Mm,
big bolds. Yes.
I love this world. I have a number of friends who are VCs, and I had to interact with them obviously in my career. And often I'd be the one chosen to go to the VC's office to have a conversation or to ask an opinion of. And it's for people, viewers, if you're not aware of this world of venture capital, I encourage you to learn about it, because I think so many people think it's not for me. I don't have the money. Not for me. I can't see that, whatever that is. And there's so much about it that's different than that kind of structure of knowing people have about it. And I've learned so many things by sitting in those rooms. So
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
private markets is where venture capital, private equity fall underneath, and that's why I created Sacral Sisters, was to educate women on investing, because a lot of them are real estate house flippers and so forth, and that's how I first started with these women, and they were wanting to diversify their money and move money so that they don't get cap gains, and with Sacral Sisters we don't have a minimum for the women, right? It's if they want to do $500 or 5,000 with when we open the fund, then it'll be 3 million up for more of the larger institution, but you can get in, and your network is your net worth. So yeah.
Interesting. I love that. Your network is your network. I love
Yeah.
that. It's
Mhm.
really a great one.
Yeah.
Tell me this. What does renewal look like for you beyond the typical rest? I'm going to take a day off. What renews Brandy?
Definitely the beach, grounding, um, cold plunges.
Ah,
uh, let's see. Um, whenever I'm traveling to different places, which I need to and I love to, I visiting different cultures or different areas also renews me. Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to do that and get out with it. Forget the tourist sites. I want to get with the people, eat the
Yes, I do
food,
the
learn
same
about
thing.
them. I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Yep, same.
It sounds awful, but I can look at the pictures and that other stuff. You can't trade that experience for anything. So
Locals
tell
are
me
in.
this. I'm interested in this. I love this question, and I love asking it of you right now is what does legacy mean to you at this stage of your life?
Mm-hmm. I don't have children yet. That would, for me, legacy would, if that were the case, would be passed on all of this. But legacy to the world is, if you see a broken system that's hurting people, look to find a way to heal it or repair it. And that's where Sacral, I hope, continues its legacy.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this. It's been an interesting journey, legacy for me. Um, it was a word that I didn't even want to get near for so many years, and then it went through different stages. And I'm learning now. My main thing I do in life is a philanthropist. It's why I do most of what I do, and um, I've learned that it's really not about me at all. It's about
No.
the things that I'm doing and that they continue on some way. The adage of I'm planting trees for which I'll never see the shade of is
Yeah,
really what's important to me, really important to me right now. So tell me this. If a much younger Brandy was listening to this podcast, what would you tell her?
mm, that's a deep one. Let's see. Probably the most simplest is that you are loved. Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
Yeah, love that. And you
Mhm.
are. I can see that.
Thank you.
I can
Thank
see
you.
that you
Don't make
give
me
it.
cry on your podcast.
Yeah, I can see that you give it and I know as a result of that you're receiving it. So I won't make you cry, I promise. If you could leave the listeners with one invitation today, what would it
Mhm.
be?
Mhm. Seek freedom through education, through, seek freedom through education.
Yeah, wonderful.
Educating yourself on how to be more free in all ways.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow, Brandy, where can we find you?
Sacralcapital.com, and then all socials are Sacral Capital. Yeah, that's where you can
Yeah,
find me. Yeah.
so it's been really great. Brandi Kolosky, GP at Sacral Capital. Thank you for being on Opening Pathways today, for your wisdom, and for being what I see as a light in this world.
Oh, I appreciate that. So are you. Back at you.
I hope we
Thank
talk
you so
soon.
much, Tom. Yeah, we will.
Good. And to
Have
my
a beautiful.
viewers, this is Tom Lenoble, and I'll see you next time.